don't know who's the author of it. I literally saw it off of TikTok University. And you know how they had those ads to where it's like, oh, check out this book. Jenna Banks? Okay, cool, thanks. They check out this book. This book is so dope. It really helps you get into your inner self, make you more self-aware. And so I've been reading I Love Me More. And a fun fact about me, I can read 3 books at one time. So I've been reading that. And I also been reading All About Love by Bell Hooks. And right, that's a good one. And then I've been reading I forget his name, but he's a white guy, and it talks about being offended. I'm gonna look it up, and I'm gonna probably put it in the comments or whatever. But he talks about how sometimes you don't need to always be offended by every single thing, and to give people more grace, especially as we get older. People make mistakes, people just really trying. This is everybody's first time being here, so some mistakes you just make and you just kind of roll with it. And if you always offended by things, you miss the little things that are most important. You miss your opportunities, you miss the beauty of things if you're always offended by certain things. But then some of his book, and I'm not done with it yet, but he did mention something that I really quite didn't agree with. And he talked about plenty of times when you have people who are in certain situations like poverty or oppressed, racism, that we're typically offended due to the fact of just always having to fight and, be on guard about things. And when that happens, I'm like, I don't think that we're always offended. I just feel like, and just in the women in general, Black women in general, I just feel like sometimes we're just tired of being walked over, and we're tired of being overlooked, because a lot of times we are overlooked and we are walked over due to, certain things that we have to deal with. If you think about it like this, and I'm just talking about me, right? So if you haven't been following me on social media, or if you haven't remembered the earlier episodes, then I'll just, reintroduce or remind that I'm a single mom. I've been a single mom since I was 20 years old. I was a single mom in college, a full-time student, all in my early 20s. And so when I have to become more, I don't want to say forceful, but assertive, it's because I literally had to just be more assertive in getting the things that I needed. So aggressive in getting the things that I needed and getting the things that my son needed. And if his needs weren't met, and if my needs weren't met, then they would be overlooked or put back in the line, and, you'll just kind of be asked out, to be honest. And a lot of Black women deal with that. So when we come off as being aggressive or being strong or being, I don't want to say defiant, because, we're women, we're not children. But when we come off as being, I don't want to say obsessive either, but bold, I guess would probably be the best word, is because that we've been through a lot and we're just tired of being walked over. And that's where it comes to the strong Black woman, and how myself, I'm tired of that narrative. I'm so tired of artificial strength. And the reason why I call it artificial strength is because it's not coming from a healthy place. It's coming from a survival place. It's coming from if I don't do this, then what can happen? When true strength, of course, comes from the Lord, but it also comes from, how can I say this? It comes from knowing that if things don't always work out the way you want them to, then that's okay. And it will always be another way, a door open or a window open or whatever they like to say. But if you're not in that mindset to feel that way, then you get that artificial strength, and then you get that narrative of the strong black woman, and it turns into your lack of self-care and your lack of self-awareness and your lack of softness. And I just hate that for us. So I was talking to one of my coworkers, and we were discussing like being feminine. And we were talking about a study about, black women being feminine and white women being feminine, and how it's a different type of femininity. Now, earlier in our episodes, we talked about femininity and, all the things that goes with that. However, when you come with the white women feminine era, or the white women and they being feminine, it's like they know how to, I don't want to say manipulate the situation, but in some way they can, and it's kind of looked over as, oh, you're just like a little deer, baby deer. And when black women are put in certain situations to where they, show that they're upset or show that they are overwhelmed, we're told to suck it up. We're told to get over it. We're told, like, you've been through worse. It's okay, girl. Put your bootstraps on and tie them up and get over it. And that's not what white women are told. Like, white women are told to go get help. Like, if things don't work out, they are taught to go get help and use tears. And it looks like it's manipulative. And I'm not want to say looks like, because it can be manipulative. I'm not going to say that it's not. But we don't teach our women that. Like, we don't teach our girls that. Like, when they get overwhelmed, when they get too much, we don't teach them like, hey, go ask for help. We don't teach them like, hey, take a break. We don't teach them like, do what you can and then finish later. We teach them that keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. And I believe that that's true. On podcast, we definitely discuss healing. We discuss aspects of psychology. We discuss, like, you becoming the best you, mental wellness.
For sure.
Health.
Femininity, parenthood, dating.
Definitely
as
dating.
Single parents. And it's from a lens of two psychologists,
Yeah.
So,
but also two people who grew up like with both parents, married parents, and then, like, you all know that Chloe and I are the youngest of our crews, like her siblings and my siblings. So it's from that perspective.
Yeah, looking at life through that lens.
Yeah.
So you're gonna get a whole lot of things from us. From us being women, going through life as parents, and all of these awesome attributes. But yes, womanology, the study of women.
The study of women.